Hello everyone, and happy Thirsty Thursday. It is National Beer Day.
Yay for beer.
Do you know why this holiday came to be?
Are you going to be the one with the history? Because I don't have, and I will apologize in advance, Hot Mess Express.
It's okay. So,
No, wow.
I am the history person today.
Okay.
So, National Beer Day celebrates the day that in 1933, the Cullen-Harrison Act was signed into law, which reversed prohibition.
Wait, I thought it was, the Volstead Act. Am I wrong?
That's what it says. So, whatever the name of it is, it's
Okay.
that...
What was it?
So there was prohibition, right?
Oh yeah, I know about prohibition.
And then...
Problem.
And then they decided to reverse it. And today is the day that, in history, in 1933, they decided to do it. Which is a cool enough fact on its own. But there's this guy, this almost sounds made up. In 2009, a Virginian man named Justin Smith, he decided to commemorate the day, and he created his own unofficial National Beer Day. So, he was just like, I'm Justin Smith, and I'm gonna make this holiday National Beer Day.
Okay.
And the entire state of Virginia was like, that's awesome. So they, adopted...
Don't you love people from Virginia?
Virginia is for lovers.
And beer drinkers.
Yeah, and so then everyone from Virginia was like, yo, that's a cool holiday. We'll celebrate it. Why not?
Yeah.
And then every, home brewers and craft beer people were like, oh, we don't live there, but we also want to do it. So then it just became National Beer Day.
Did you guys know about that? It's National Beer Day.
It's National Beer Day. So we're drinking a tropical IPA, which I'm super excited for. And we also did a little contest. Well, I don't know if it's a contest. I think
A little challenge.
A little challenge. So what we've done is, out of all of our Brewer's Best 5-gallon kits, we have, Paula's picked 3 that she thinks that if I looked at all the kits, it would be my 3 top favorites. And I've done the same for her.
It was not as easy as I thought. I think I overthought this.
I also,
You cheated.
I didn't cheat.
Did Todd help you?
Okay, so I picked 2, and then Todd and I were talking about what the third one would be. I don't know, looking back in hindsight, I guess we'll see how it goes, but looking back in hindsight, I'm like, ugh, I don't know if I chose right at all. And I also learned something about myself.
I had a hard time choosing my own. I don't know how you chose for me.
I had a hard time choosing for myself.
Okay, all right.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because there's so many good kits.
And it's National Beer Day.
So, before we get to that part, I also wanted to talk about the fact that...
Can I just stop you there? You know what we're not doing?
Drinking.
And if anybody knew what kind of morning I had, that's why we're late. I apologize.
It's okay. Cheers. Cheers. It's all good. I poured these really full.
It's a pretty hazy looking.
It smells.
All right, it's tropical.
So I waited for you to take a sip, but I really wanted to drink. There's a little bit left, and I really want to drink it. It is mango-y. Ooh. Nick did
My
good.
mouth just went. You know that feeling when you take that drink and you wait for it, and then it's an explosion?
Yeah, that's a good beer, dude. It's very, very tropically. I'm getting the mango.
It's full of hops.
Yeah. But not overpowering. I expected it to be
It's not bitter. It's more of whoever chose it was a citrus medley, let's say.
It has Citra, it has Mosaic, and it also has Simcoe. So
that's a beautiful combination. Citra,
Mosaic and Simcoe. Yeah.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Go beer team.
Oh, I thought you were saying someone said go beer team on there.
No, I did.
And
we have people that you guys should be drinking with us. Do we need to wait a second when you guys all go get a beer?
Go grab a beer.
Go get a beer. Go get a beer. We'll kind of hang out and just
we'll talk to your boss for you.
Yeah, it's okay. It's totally okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So, beer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that beer is more widely, do you think there's more wine drank in the world or more beer overall?
Well, first of all, I feel like that is a trick question.
Why?
Because are you saying like fluid ounces?
Yeah.
Okay, because I think that if you're drinking beer, you're going to be more likely to consume more beer in a sitting than you would wine. Okay,
That's fair.
All right,
That's fair.
I'm going with that. So, like, if you're drinking beer, like, if I'm drinking beer, I'm not going to have just two beers usually. I'm going to,
Right.
I mean, not that.
But even this is way more than what you're gonna.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you do a 6 ounce pour of wine, or even a larger pour of wine, I'm never gonna drink an entire bottle of wine at one sitting.
Yeah.
I love wine, but I'm just not going to.
But you could drink the same.
But I could drink 4 beers, eating pizza, watching a football game. Definitely, if I'm watching the Browns play with my husband, I'm going to be drinking beer. So, I think there are probably, in the world, because of cultural things, more wine drinkers, but I think that more beer is consumed.
Well, I couldn't tell you how many people drink wine versus how many people drink beer, but you're right. There is more beer overall being consumed than wine.
Talk about a long answer to a short question.
Yeah, no,
right?
that's okay.
This is how I operate in life. If I can overthink it for you, let me have it. I will do that for you.
So beer is the third most commonly drank beverage in the
Water.
world. The water is
Coffee.
actually
No?
not coffee.
Not coffee.
Beer is more commonly drank than coffee.
Coffee.
Isn't that insane?
I'm drinking the wrong breakfast drink then.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, and I'll tell you why later.
Oh gosh. All right. So if it's water, and if beer is number 3,
What do you think's number 2?
don't say soda.
It's not soda.
Is it tea?
It's tea, yeah.
Okay, because
there's more tea being
all
drank
right.
than coffee. I don't know. I only had the top 3, so I don't know. Maybe coffee is like number 4. I would assume coffee is number 4. If it's not, then I don't know what the other drink is.
Tea.
But
Okay. I'm gonna have to think about that. I think maybe I was just looking at it as a very United States of America version.
yeah, it's hard to know. And like,
But if you look at like a lot of places in Europe or even Asia, tea would be.
I mean, tea is huge over there. One of the pro climbers that I like follow and pay attention to a lot, he was saying that like the 2 most important things in his life are climbing and tea. And he said that the way that he like drinks tea is the same way that climbing makes him feel. Like it's just like a moment to like focus on yourself and just like be present, you know? I was like, huh, that's so interesting. I have to think about that the next time.
I think that's one of those things that's gonna ramble around. But I have to, yes. But I think if you're a tea drinker, I love tea, but I'm not a tea drinker. I don't even drink tea every week.
I like dabble.
But I do go through
I
times
love
that
it,
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm all about the tea, and I'm pulling out the loose tea, and I've got all the, and I'm doing all different varieties of tea, and I'm doing flavors, and then there are 6 months that I will.
Yeah, you're
not
like,
have a
tea?
cup of
Who is
tea,
she?
because I can grab a thing of coffee out of the coffee maker, and I'm good to go.
Fair.
But yeah, I could see how it could feel like you're kind of pampering yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Of course, I'd rather grab a beer.
All right, so let's before we get to the kits, I have one more cool thing for you to learn.
Wow.
This blew my mind.
Okay.
Okay, so craft breweries and just breweries in general in the US have blown up like exponentially over the past years, like recently.
I would say 10 to 15 years.
So, in 1990, I'm going to tell you how many breweries there were in the US.
Okay.
And then...
And 1990 was 30 years ago. Holy
30
cow.
years ago.
Okay.
So, in 1990, there were 284 breweries listed on it was like Brewers Association. Obviously,
okay, like,
some
we're talking about like even like the big ones.
Yep, even the big ones. So there's like craft and big ones and everything.
All of them.
284 listed on like the official list that they came out with.
Okay.
And then I have 2 different dates. So 2015 and 2019 are the dates. In 2015, how many breweries do you think were listed on that same list?
2015. I'm across the whole United States.
Across the whole United States.
And there are 50 states.
There were 284 in 1990. So in 30 years, what do you think?
I think I'm going to go with 10,000.
10,000. Okay. So, I mean, I appreciate the, like, you jumped high, because you knew. As of 2015, there were 4,144 breweries listed on that same list.
Okay.
But you went from 284 to 4,000. I mean, that's a big jump.
That is huge. Yeah. Well, because I'm trying to think, like, if we've done, and I don't know if you guys have ever done this. It's so much fun to do. But when I first took this position, and Tom and I were just trying to learn a lot more about beer than just being people who enjoy drinking beer, which is...
I glanced your list of beers over there. Sorry, I'm trying to pay attention.
And we went to a couple different cities, and we just drank beer in those cities at, like, small little pubs and small breweries and stuff. And I was thinking, a lot of these little cities had quite a beer scene.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, we have 2 breweries just in our own little city here.
Sandusky, yeah.
And we're not a big city.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
we're
really
not a big city at all.
I think Sandusky's like, what, 30,000? Like, not that big.
No, and we have 2 full-on...
And there's like a new one that's about to open up or something like that, right?
I don't know if they're going to brew or not. They're out of Cleveland, and they're coming down to do a coffee shop and a restaurant. But I haven't heard anything about them brewing.
Gotcha.
Now, we're also getting our own distillery in town. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be this tiny little town on a lake with an international waterway to Canada with 2 breweries and our own distillery. So I thought, okay, let me extrapolate that and make it big.
Yeah.
But I still think it's amazing the number of people who have celebrated craft brewing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so 2015, the number was 4,144. Now, 4 years later, what do you think the number is in 2019? And I wanted to get a number for currently 2022.
And that would have been 3 years ago. So if it went from 200 and some to 4,000, I'm going to go 7,000.
8,530.
Closer!
Yeah. But isn't that crazy that, so from 1990 to 2015, that's what, 25 years, right?
That's a huge
That's 25
difference.
years. And then it went from, it doubled. It like almost doubled in 4 years.
So why do you think that is?
I think that people like, well, one, I think the internet probably helped quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Just because people are more, like, for example, like, you can see other people making beer now. Right. And then you're like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I should try that, either, like, at a homebrew setting or if you go out and you can try it. So I think the internet. And then also I think that, like, certain things have been, like they're easier. Like, there's a lot more ease of convenience in, like, getting ingredients and equipment. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that overall, just, like, the knowledge that it exists, and then also having access to that equipment. I don't know. What were your thoughts on that?
I agree. I think 100% it's accessibility, because, and I think it's also variety. Because let's face it, go back to 1990. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't go into it. 6 years before I was born.
Wasn't around. But you go back, and those of you who remember, you didn't go into a place that had 80 taps. We have a place downtown that has 80 taps.
Yeah, that's nuts.
There weren't 80 beers to have. Mm-hmm. I mean, you went into a bar and you ordered one of 5 or 10 beers.
And I really, like, I remember when I first started working here, we have a chart, it's a poster. And it says, like, the beer types, right? Yeah. And it's, like, you know, ales, lagers, porters, like, and it has these circles, and they're, like, these main circles, but then there's just branches and branches and branches, and they're, like, trying to make sense of it all, right? Because, like, the human brain wants to categorize. Mm-hmm. And it's, like, at the end of the day, it's, like, it's gotten out of hand, man. Like, I feel like in every hobby, there's always those people that are, like, the original, like, this is how it's always done. We need
the OGs.
Yeah, the OGs, like, we need to stick to doing it this way. And then there are people that are like, but what if we didn't? Mm-hmm. And then there's, like, that whole spectrum in between. And I just always find that really interesting to, like, where you fall on that spectrum, you know?
When you talk about that, your desk used to be in our store. Do you miss hearing those conversations?
About like things in the store.
Like when people will come in, they'd be so excited. I'm gonna try this recipe, or I've never. Have you ever had this kind of beer or that kind of beer? There's always a new kind of something I haven't tried.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't hear a lot of those conversations because I usually work with my headphones on. But like, I'm sure it was fun. Like that's part of it, all right? Is like
I missed part of that.
Yeah. I know that you really enjoy those conversations. Like I think now I would appreciate those conversations more because even
Background
back then,
knowledge.
Yeah, back then, if I heard those conversations, I probably wouldn't. Let's see, whoever the sign behind us, whoever made the sign, I remember they came in, they were talking with you about bourbon. And I was like, should I join this conversation? I'm like, I absolutely have no knowledge of this, so I'm just gonna listen and see if I can learn.
We were having a really good time talking about bourbon.
Yeah, they were living it up, talking
I'm like,
about bourbon.
You try this one. He's like, you try this one.
Yeah. And then I feel like for me, my like defensive mode or like my comedic mode, like if I don't know something about a conversation, I like try to make a joke about it, and I'm like, I don't even know where to start, so I'm just gonna listen and learn.
Yeah, I just think it's fascinating.
Yeah. All right. Should we get to the main event?
National Beer Day.
National Beer Day. All right. So for those of you that are just tuning in, we went through all of our Brewer's Best 5-gallon kits, and Paula picked 3 that she thought that would be my top favorite, and I picked 3 that I thought would be her top favorite. This is not easy.
No.
I don't know how many kits do we have. Do you know off the top of your head how many?
It's well over 50.
I was gonna say at least 50 kits.
Because you have 1-gallon kits, you have 5-gallon kits, we have Brewer's Best, we have True Brew. So when you start putting those all together, the combination is incredible.
So let's do it. Let's all do one and then you do one. We can just like go back and forth.
Okay. You go first.
So.
And I rated mine. What I thought you would be 1, 2, and 3. Did you rate it or it was in no particular order?
Well, okay, wait. I didn't rate it, but I have a number 1, number 2, and number 3. Okay, so we'll do the number 1 first. So number 1, Paula is really into like the dark beers. And she also, I know she loves anything like barrel aged.
I do.
So my number 1 pick for her was the Whiskey Barrel Stout.
And that was my number 1 pick for me.
Was it?
You did so well! Yes!
Yes! The Whiskey Barrel Stout, this guy's a dark boy. The color's gonna be black. ABV of 5.5 to 6%. I've used a 31 to 35. Now, we have a lot of different stouts. And I know that she's a big stout fan, so I was like thinking, like, which one should I pick? We had like an oatmeal stout. We have just like a classic stout, Whiskey Barrel, and I went Whiskey Barrel because I
100%.
I know. What do you love about the
everything? You just have it's beautiful. It's beautiful because I love the Whiskey Barrel. I love the bite, the little bit of a growl that you get from the whiskey portion of it. And you do get that in the beer. And then, of course, it's a stout. So it's hearty, and it's just real beer. It's just so
just
good.
Love it.
But it's a sipping drink, and I'm a sipper. That's probably why I also enjoy wine so much.
I should probably drink more stouts because I just drink drinks quickly.
It just it slows it down.
Yeah.
But I think, and you can be like, you're full of crap. Because you see me on the outside, I see me on the inside. But I see myself as someone who I walk in the door and it's go. It's go. You come into my office, the phone is ringing, I'm answering questions, there's one person waiting outside the door, there's another person in the seat, the emails are coming through, and it's just go, 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 go. And it's very fast paced.
And so when
I leave work, and I want to unwind.
There's no more go.
There's no go. There's no go. There is slow sipping. Like, it is almost like my meditation.
Oh,
it's
It's your version of tea.
It is my version of tea. So, yeah. So, the Whiskey Barrel Stout, you are never going to gulp that thing.
Jeffrey Quigg says dark beers are the best.
That's what we could drink together. So the bottom line is this Whiskey Barrel Stout, number 1 on my list.
I'm quite pleased with myself.
Well. Yes.
All right, what's your pick for me?
Right. My pick for you, and I hope this is not anticlimactic, but the one I thought would be just kind of like your go-to, you're going to enjoy it.
I have to remember what I picked.
IPA,
okay. So I'm going to give you kudos because I did say that one of mine would be grapefruit IPA.
Okay.
And I was really tempted to pick just the classic IPA.
See, but I see you as someone who enjoys all the extra, like it could be grapefruit, it could be mango, it could be this, it could be, but in the end of the day, you enjoy a classic drink.
And 100%, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I felt like it was basic to pick
I don't think
IPA.
an IPA is basic, so you overthought it.
I overthought it on my own end. I also, one of the first drinks that I attempted to brew and didn't successfully brew was a grapefruit IPA. So there's a little bit of like sentimental value there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you know, like I'll give you half a point because I mean, just add some grapefruit to it and you got it.
Well, you'll laugh at my next one, but anyway, yeah. So I was like IPA because you love. I mean, there's not a time that we don't try it. This is an IPA. Every IPA we try,
you're totally that's totally valid.
You're like, I love this, and see, I don't think of it as basic. You use basic. I use the word classic.
It is. It is classic. I don't know. I'm a creative, so I can't pick like the vanilla, right? I mean, I can.
Y'all think IPAs are vanilla?
I'm not saying that. It's like one of those things, right? Where it's like it's fine if someone else does it, but if you like, you know what I mean.
We're so hard on ourselves.
We are so hard on
ourselves.
Oh, is my phone?
Your phone okay?
Yeah. Here, let's close it. My phone's at 20%. How is that happening? All right. Sorry, Instagram. So we're back. Don't know how much you missed.
India Pale Ale. So I didn't even say. So you have a ABV of 5.75 to 6.25. That's a real beer. And IBU's 45 to 49. So it's gonna be full of flavor.
Well, I don't know if you know, but this one we're currently drinking is 7%. So strap in.
Not driving anywhere. I'm gonna be here for the rest of the afternoon.
All right, kit number 2.
Okay.
Paula, man, you don't make it easy. Okay.
I ask my husband. He's on Facebook watching right now. There's nothing easy about me.
So I picked this kit. I want to preface it by saying I picked this because it's something you talk about a lot. But you talk about it in context of Nick really enjoying them. I also know that you have mentioned several times that you're like a drink alcohol for breakfast type of a person. Like, you're not mad about it, right?
I'm not mad.
And you have called this...
That's why Bloody Marys and mimosas are in... And then the other day I did have a coffee stout that I was like, I could drink this for breakfast.
It's coffee.
It's coffee!
So you've called this the breakfast drink or the orange juice drink.
Oh my God, this is hysterical.
The New England IPA.
It is. It's breakfast.
Is this one of your picks?
Actually, it's not one of my picks.
No.
It did not make the list, but I totally, you understand that when you limit me to 3,
right?
That is an impossibility.
Right.
So, I agree that if I'm out, although you may choose, and I would choose this because of the citrus component, and I like the haziness of it. But Nick calls this orange juice beer.
Right. And this particular kit, I did look at the hops as well. This particular kit is not Mosaic.
It's still so good though.
Which I know is your favorite hop. And I wanted to choose something that had Mosaic in it. And then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go with my gut. And so, I mean, I'm
not shaming you at all. I give you points for this.
So
because the bottom line is, football games start early sometimes. And if I was tailgating, I could totally grab that in the morning and call it my orange juice.
Yeah. This is like oddly fun, is it not?
Totally fun. I hope you guys are having fun too. And by the way, it is National Beer Day, so you should be drinking. And if your boss says no, you tell him it's national.
It's national.
It's national.
And if you're in Virginia, tell them it's state.
And national, which, you know, one.
And if your name is Justin, tell them that it's name-based.
Yes, all the things.
I went to school with a kid named Justin Smith, which is why I
Did
find
you
that.
Really?
Yeah, which is why I find that fact so entertaining. But okay, so let's.
You want to see your second one because you're gonna laugh.
I do.
You're totally gonna laugh. Are you ready?
I'm scared. What is it? Oh!
it's the New England IPA.
New England IPA.
It's the same thing because you love to have, and this is what you were saying to begin with. You love the flavors. You love to add things to your IPA. You always enjoy the citrus.
Yeah.
Every time we try a beer that has a lot of citrus or a lot of fruit, you love it. I don't care if it's sour or regular. You're like the fruit-based kind of girl.
Wow. That's actually, okay. I'm giving you half a point for that, but you just said, like, spot on. So when I was going through this list of beers, I was thinking, like, oh, what do I want? And I had a hard time picking. And what I learned about myself is, yeah, I like the fruit and I like the citrus. So New England IPA, I almost did pick it. I was like, maybe. But what I actually ended up picking, and I don't want to say
Don't
what
say
I
it
actually ended up picking,
I couldn't bring my third one in yet.
Okay, but I will be curious to see if you picked it for third.
Okay.
And anyone that's watched our lives, put in the comments what you think that our third beer will be for both Paula and for I.
Also, I believe you should really think about this because this was a cool experiment. So, thinking about if you are a global beer drinker.
Not to interrupt you, but Todd says okay. Like, I think he says okay to we gave him permission to drink.
Yeah, go ahead and drink, Todd. Go down to the refrigerator. You know there's beers in there.
There's extra one. Yeah, our refrigerator.
You know our refrigerator is full of beer. It's a work fridge. We're working. So don't judge. Just get one. What was I saying? So if you're a global beer drinker, it's hard to come up with 3 top beers.
Oh my god, it was hard.
Challenge yourself.
It was.
We would love on this when we post it. Tell us what will be your 3 top beers, and you're gonna have a hard time.
You're gonna have a hard time. Also, it's one of those things where it's like you don't want to pick. Like, you could have, like, for example, like, I love IPAs, so it'd be really tempting for me to do.
I picked 2 of them.
I know, but it'd be really tempting for me to do IPA, a New England IPA, grapefruit.
And then
if you're only, it's like one of those things where it's like, you only can eat one food for the rest of your life. What would you eat? You want to, like, give yourself a variety, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But I also think if you chose, if you're gonna be like, I'm an IPA drinker, you still might have 50 IPAs you could drink.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so, wait, is it my turn for the third one? Alright. This one was, like, the one that I was the most unsure about.
I have issues, too.
I just, like, I chose it because I know in the past that you've said that you're a fan of, like, this style of beer in general.
If it's the one I couldn't get, I'm gonna die laughing.
So Todd and I were having a conversation about what to pick for the third one.
Right.
Todd said Scottish Ale. I said Belgian Triple.
Oh, okay.
Because I know in the past that you have said that you are a fan of Belgian beers.
I love Belgian beers.
You've said that exact thing.
Love Belgian beers.
So I figured I would just pick that. And then I had like a solid, so my picks for you, like reviewing, were the Whiskey Barrel Stout, which was spot on.
Yes.
The New England IPA, which you said yes, but not.
Yes.
And then the Belgian Triple, and I figured that would give me like a well-rounded, like, version of you,
to go with you, I chose for myself Whiskey Barrel Stout, 1-1, okay? But the second one I chose was an Irish Stout because I do love a traditional Irish Stout.
I wanted to pick another stout.
And I know I might seem basic or boring that it was 2 stouts or not like a porter or something, but honest to God, I feel, and if you're a stout drinker, you may or may not agree with me, but if you do a barrel-aged stout, it is incredibly different. Oh, he wrote Dirty Bastard, and I love Dirty Bastard. If you do a barrel-aged stout, it is incredibly different than a more Irish traditional stout.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
I mean, I understand they're cousins, but they might be like second cousins twice removed.
I wanted to just like be like, all right,
here's all the dark beers.
I wanted to be like, what 3 stouts do we have? But then I was like, I feel like she won't go that way.
I was like, be honest with yourself. Don't be like who you wish you were. Be who you are. That was the conversation I had with me.
Oh my god, this beer picking out thing is like, it's is very telling. It gets deep quick.
It did get deep. Do it at home. So, totally. I did that. And then the third one, which is funny,
I
Belgian.
feel like it's like horoscopes over here.
Totally. I did a wit beer, a Saison, a Hefeweizen. Like, it's the Belgian. It's that whole family.
So that's fair because when I was also picking my beers, the third one. Wait, and you haven't said what
I
you thought was my
haven't
favorite one.
revealed it yet.
Okay, but the wit beer, the Saison, the Hefeweizen, they're all very similar.
The Shandy, the Saison, anything that was citrus or fruity would be your third beer.
That was my third.
That's your third beer from me.
So my third pick. So my overall picks were I did the grapefruit IPA, which you picked IPA, so
right?
fair enough.
Okay.
I actually did the pineapple tart sour ale.
I was like, do I do the New England IPA or do I do a sour? And I didn't do a sour just because sometimes you love a sour and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I think that, like, in general, if I had to pick, like, IPAs or sours, I would pick IPAs over sours
safer.
any day. Right.
But I also believe that the perfect sour you like better than the IPA. But
it has to be the right one.
It has to be the perfect sour.
And that pineapple one, too. I also feel like my judgment may have been skewed because, like, I tried the pineapple sour as my first ever sour, and I just, like, really clicked with it.
Right, okay.
And so, I don't know, I feel like it was, like, one of those memorable experiences in, like, my beer growing up, if you...
Well, we can't negate the fact that there are times that a beer or a drink is associated with a memory.
It's interesting that you say that because my last pick, you picked a Shandy or a Saison?
I said Shandy, Saison, anything citrusy or fruity.
Okay. The very first time that I ever had a beer that I enjoyed, ever, was at a brewery in Fort Collins. And up until that point, I was like, I don't like beer. It's just not my thing. And my friend's like, you know what, have a sip of my watermelon wheat beer. And I was like, okay. And I tried it, and I was like, oh, this is good. And I ordered one. And so that's my third pick is the watermelon wheat.
Oh, and I looked at it. We're paused to dirt. Oh, we're back. Okay. Yeah, I did look at watermelon.
Oops, Jeff guessed Doppelbock. That's not a bad guess.
Not bad at all.
Well, I mean, none of them are bad guesses because we like all the different types. So it's like
we become real, boozers.
But yeah, so watermelon wheat beer is like the first beer that I ever tried that I really enjoyed, and so I think that and I love our watermelon wheat beer kit that we have here. So that was my third.
It is a really good. We're like frozen. Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
So
sorry, Instagram. I don't know.
Usually Instagram is better behaved than Facebook, but who knew? So I'm dying to know what our viewers think are their top 3. It's a deep dive.
It's a deep dive for sure. And you think at the start, oh, it'll be easy. Like, I'm just gonna
like beer.
But then I was like, oh no, because if I do this, then I have to do that, you know.
Right, and if I pick these 3, I can't have these 12.
Right.
So,
And I also wanted to pick, I really did want to pick like a stout or something like that. I really did because I remember, or a porter, like I remember that John, he brought in a peanut butter porter that I absolutely loved. It's still to this day one of the top beers that I've ever had. But like I feel like this is more of like a personality thing and like what's your like go-tos. And that's not my go-to. So, yeah.
I would say overall we didn't do too bad.
I don't think we did too bad. We each got one. Like
one to boom.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, we each got one for each other, and then the other ones, it's like we understood each other's reasoning. And
yeah.
It's cool that
it's called beer appreciation.
Yeah. I think it's cool too because this is one of the cool parts about like if I'm out, just bumming around and I see a beer, I'm like, oh, Paula would love that, and I'll get it for her, or like vice versa. And that's what's so cool about homebrewing too is the reason that I brewed the grapefruit IPA is that my first beer brew is because my friend I know my friend loves grapefruit IPAs, so it's I did that for her.
It's so social.
And people have different names or different reasons behind their beers. There's a ton of different movements. Where there's purposes behind the beer, and it's so much bigger than just the beer. There's a lot of meaning and value, and that's what I love about the homebrewing community. And Big Brew Day is coming up.
Yes.
So Big Brew Day is going to be May 7th, And yeah, we're having a big get together. If you haven't already heard, you can sign up. We did just order t-shirts, and we ordered a few extra for anyone that might not have signed up by the deadline, which was April 1st. But yeah, if you sign up, you can come out, hang out with us and brew, and get a paid membership to the Firelands Home Brew Club. You also get 20% off any of the ingredients or supplies in the store the day of the class, and a pizza lunch. Who doesn't?
And
like
bragging rights that you were part of Big Brew 2022.
Heck yeah. Yeah, and we put together our own recipe. I know last week, if you want more information about the recipes, go and watch our last week's Thirsty Thursday. We had Zach from the Firelands Homebrew Club come on and talk a little bit more in depth about all the recipes, and that was super cool. He also brought us some homebrew, so we're never mad about that.
We need to bring him back more often.
But yeah, we have the community lager that was a AHA sponsored recipe, and then we also have our own version, which was a recipe that Zach brought in of the Two Puppies American Pale Ale, which is based off of the office dogs Stella and Eddie, which is super cute.
Both girls, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna be brewing those, and then it's just fun to come and hang out and
stop by.
See everyone.
I think at this point we have about 10 or 11 people that are gonna be in the class. Zach's gonna be doing that. We have 5 or 6 more people that are signed up to come out and brew. But if you want to come out and brew, come out and brew. Pull up your car or your truck, open up your trunk, sit on the tailgate, sit on the whatever, and just brew. Bring what you need. And come out and just enjoy the camaraderie. That's what this event is about.
For sure.
You're always welcome.
And I would challenge, this was super fun, by the way. Like, I had a fun time with this. Originally, we were just going to each pick 3, but then I said, what if we try to guess each other's? And it turned out to be really awesome. So, I would encourage you, here's a challenge. Grab one of your brew buddies and try and pick 3 beers that you think would be their top beers. If you're like a craft beer guy that's like out in the commercial world, try and pick the brands. Try and pick the specific beers that you think would be on your buddy's top 3 list, and then compare notes and see if you're right. Super fun way to celebrate National Beer Day.
But it is National Beer Day, so in honor of that, you should all have a beer.
100% agree.
Done.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate you guys. I feel like we're at this point in Thirsty Thursday where we've just became like really comfortable, and like I've had a lot of fun like talking to whoever's listening out there. It's been like a lot of fun. Someone says Ninkasi out of Oregon. Yeah, that's funny because we were actually I think Todd was talking about that this morning.
Was he?
Yeah.
Todd loves beer. Todd loves beer. He's our graphic.
Todd loves
He puts up our listings.
I should try to pick Todd's top 3. You and I should put our heads together and try to pick Todd's
I don't know, but every time Todd gives me a beer, I'm a happy girl.
He gave me one of the best. I don't know. I can't remember.
He knows I like the barrel.
He gave me the best IPA I've ever had in my life. Like, I was drinking it, and, like, the pine flavor was, like, tingling. It was so good.
Yeah, Todd knows beer.
Yeah, for sure. But, yeah, grab a buddy and do this, and we'd love to hear the results in the comments.
100%.
And we'll see you next time. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We have a lot of fun with this.
Thanks for drinking with us.